Richard pointed at me in front of our clients in the meeting room. Rebecca's great with details, but real pressure situations need male leadership. The clients looked uncomfortable. I pulled patent documents from my folder, placed them on the table, and smiled. My name is Rebecca Thompson. I'm 34 years old. For 5 years, I've been the co-founder of Dataflow Technologies. Until this moment, I had been playing the quiet, supportive partner who handles the details. Richard Mason and I built this company together, a small but successful technology firm developing software solutions. But there was something very important that Richard didn't know, and this secret would completely change his career after those humiliating words. This story is about gender bias in the tech industry, trust in business partnerships, and who really creates value. If you've ever faced gender discrimination or had someone underestimate your value, I recommend watching this story to the end, because sometimes the greatest revenge is simply revealing the truth. Richard and I met 5 years ago at our previous company. He was sales manager, charismatic, talkative, very talented at building client relationships. I was from the software development department, quiet but highly skilled engineer. When our company was on the verge of bankruptcy due to poor management, Richard made me an offer. Rebecca, you know the technical knowledge. I know client relationships. Let's start our own company. At the time, it seemed logical. I was weak at finding clients. He was zero on technical matters. We seemed to complement each other. We founded Dataflow Technologies with 50-50 partnership. I was responsible for technical development. He handled sales and client relationships. Our first year was tough, but thanks to the software solutions I developed, client satisfaction was very high. When Richard's sales ability combined with my technical capacity, things started to fall into place. In our second year, we got projects from 3 major companies. While I worked day and night developing custom software solutions, Richard was playing golf with clients, organizing business dinners. In our third year, I started to notice things were changing. Richard's behavior started to change. At first, it was small things, interrupting me in meetings, introducing me to clients as technical support, forgetting to ask me before making important decisions. Rebecca is a very talented developer, he would tell clients. I determine the strategy, she handles the implementation details. This statement bothered me a lot. I wasn't just handling implementation details, I was determining most of the strategy too. In our fourth year, the situation got even worse. Richard now openly started belittling me. Rebecca is very good at technical matters, but sometimes struggles with seeing the big picture, he said in a client meeting. Women focus too much on details. They might miss the overall strategy, he said another time. These comments were both wrong and very demeaning, because I was actually making most of our company's strategic decisions. But the real problem was elsewhere. What Richard didn't know was this. All the software solutions offered by Dataflow Technologies were entirely my creation. I wasn't just writing code, I was also designing algorithms and building system architectures. For the 5 different software solutions I developed in the last 3 years, I had filed patent applications. Richard was unaware of this because I had obtained the patents in my own name. The first patent was the Dynamic Data Optimization System. It was an algorithm that enabled e-commerce companies to analyze large data sets in real time. The second patent was the Adaptive Security Protocol, a system that predicted and prevented cyber attacks. The third patent was the Smart Process Automation Platform, software that automated and optimized companies' business processes. The fourth patent was the real-time performance monitoring engine. The fifth patent was the integrated business intelligence analysis system. These 5 patents covered 90% of the services data flow technologies offered. In other words, almost all of our company's value came from my intellectual property. You might wonder why I kept the patents secret. There were 2 reasons. First, I was afraid Richard would misuse this information. If he knew the patents were with me, I thought he might try to exclude me completely. Second, I was waiting for the right moment. The moment when Richard's true character would be fully revealed. And when that moment came, these trump cards would be very useful. At the beginning of our 5th year, Richard's behavior became even more aggressive. Now, he wasn't just belittling me, he was actively trying to sideline me. "Rebecca, you focus on technical work. Client relationships are my area," he started saying. He began going to major client meetings alone. He wasn't inviting me on the grounds that I was busy. We had an important project discussion with our biggest client, TechCorp. A $2 million deal was at stake. I had completely designed that project. I had determined the technical specifications, but Richard went to the meeting alone. "You prepare the presentation, I'll handle the negotiation part," he had said. When he returned from the meeting, he was very pleased. "We got the deal," he said. "TechCorp was very impressed." "How did you explain the technical details?" I asked. "I explained it in general terms. You'll handle the details anyway." This was very disturbing. I knew every detail of that project, but I didn't even get a chance to meet the client. But the real shock came 2 weeks later. 2 weeks after the TechCorp project started, Richard called me to his office. "Rebecca, there's an important matter I need to discuss with you." He looked serious. I understood there was a problem. "There will be some changes in the TechCorp project," he said. "What kind of changes?" "They want to work directly with me. I'll handle the technical details." This was impossible. Richard was very weak on technical matters. How would he manage that project? "Richard, that project is very complex. You can't know the technical details." "Rebecca, I've been working in this business for 5 years. I've learned technical matters too." We both knew this was a lie. "Also," he continued, "TechCorp is just the beginning. I'll take over our other big clients too." "What do you mean?" "Rebecca, you're a very talented developer. But this business has sales and client relations dimensions. Women can't be as successful as men in these areas." There it was. Richard's true thought. He saw me as just a developer and found me inadequate because I was a woman. "Richard, I'm a partner in this company. The clients are our joint clients." "Of course, but operationally I'll manage them." That day I understood Richard's real plan. He wanted to push me completely into the background and take complete control of the company. But he was making a very big mistake. Because the real value of the company was hidden in me. In the following months, Richard began systematically excluding me. He no longer invited me to client meetings. "You focus on coding," he would say. He was removing me from email lists. "Let's not have unnecessary information pollution," he would say. New client summaries now went directly to him. Worst of all, he started introducing me to clients as technical staff. I was no longer getting partner treatment, but employee treatment. One day when I came to the office, I saw that the sign on my door had been changed from Rebecca Thompson, founding partner, to Rebecca Thompson, technical development. "Richard, what does this mean?" "We're defining our roles more clearly. You're technical director, I'm general manager." I didn't approve this change. "Rebecca, This is best for the company's future. That night, sitting at home, I fully understood what Richard's plan was. He would first exclude me functionally, then, legally, remove me from the partnership. But what he didn't know was that I had my own plan, too. While Richard was taking all the company's clients under his own name by excluding me, he was overlooking something critical. All the software solutions we offered to these clients were my patented technologies. I spoke with my patent attorney. Dr. Helen Carter was an expert in the technology field, a very experienced lawyer. "Rebecca, your position is very strong," she said. "These patents are in your name. The company is using these technologies, but there's no licensing agreement." "What do you mean?" "Legally, Richard cannot use these patented technologies without your permission. You can stop their use anytime you want." This was a very powerful trump card. Also, Helen continued, if Richard is telling clients that he created these technologies himself, this could be patent infringement and even fraud. Richard was doing exactly that. He was introducing them to clients as systems he developed himself. What do you recommend, Helen? First, explain the patent situation to Richard. Find out if he wants to make a licensing agreement. If he refuses, we'll start legal proceedings. But I had a better plan. A month later, there was a big project evaluation meeting with TechCorp. A $5 million deal was at stake. CEO James Wilson, CTO Amanda Foster, and procurement manager Michael Brown from TechCorp were coming. Richard was giving great importance to this meeting. "If we land this deal, the company will move up to the next league," he was saying. The day before the meeting, Richard called me. "Rebecca will be making a technical presentation at tomorrow's meeting. I hope you've prepared." "Which technical presentation, Richard? You hadn't invited me to the meeting." "Ah, yes, last-minute decision. TechCorp wants to see technical details too." This was typical Richard. Since he didn't know technical matters, he was calling me at the last minute. "Richard, I won't attend that meeting." "What do you mean you won't attend? This is very important." "I won't attend as a manager, but I can come as a patent holder." "What patent?" That was the moment. It was time to tell Richard the truth. "Richard, all the software solutions we presented to TechCorp are my patented technologies, and you're using them without my permission." The phone was silent. "Rebecca, what are you saying?" "Tomorrow at the meeting, I'll bring my patent documents. There are things TechCorp needs to know." The next day, the TechCorp team came to our office. James Wilson was an experienced CEO. Amanda Foster was a very smart CTO. Michael Brown was also an expert in procurement. Richard was managing the meeting. I was sitting quietly in the corner with my folder. "Gentlemen, lady," Richard said as he began his presentation, "as Data Flow Technologies, we're offering you the most advanced software solutions." In the first hour, Richard made a general company presentation. Success stories, client references, growth plans. "Now let's move to technical details," said Amanda Foster. "Who developed these software solutions?" "I developed them," Richard said confidently. "I've been working on these technologies for 5 years. That was the moment. Richard pointed at me. "Rebecca's great with details, but real pressure situations need male leadership." The TechCorp team looked uncomfortable. Amanda Foster frowned. I took the patent documents from my folder and placed them on the table. "Excuse me, but I need to make a correction," I said with a smile. "Mr. Wilson, Ms. Foster, Mr. Brown," I said calmly. "I have some documents I'd like to show you." I placed the first patent document on the table. This is the Dynamic Data Optimization System patent. It was registered in my name in 2021. Amanda Foster took the document and examined it. "Isn't this the system you developed for TechCorp?" "Yes, but the person who developed and patented the system is me, not Richard." I placed the second document. Adaptive Security Protocol. Again, my patent. I lined up the third, fourth, fifth patents on the table. These 5 patents cover 95% of the services Dataflow Technologies offers. James Wilson looked at Richard in shock. Richard, what does this mean? Richard's face was ashen. This means, I said, Richard gave you false information that he developed these technologies himself. Amanda Foster stood up. Rebecca, are you the real creator of these technologies? Yes, I'm the creator of every algorithm, every line of code. Michael Brown was examining the files. These patents look real, USPTO registered. Of course they're real, I said, because I'm the creator. Richard tried to intervene. These technologies were developed within the company. No, Richard, I said. These technologies are the result of my personal research, and the patent rights are mine. Amanda Foster turned to Richard. Richard, you said you developed these technologies, but the patents are in Rebecca's name. This is a technical detail, Richard stammered. Technical detail? James Wilson's voice was stern. Patent ownership isn't a technical detail. It's legal fact. Michael Brown. Richard, if Rebecca is the real owner of these technologies, is she the person we should be contracting with? That's when Richard completely panicked. No, I'm the company owner. Rebecca is just an employee. Actually, I said calmly, I'm also a founding partner and the owner of these patents. Amanda Foster was now getting very clear. Rebecca, do you license the use of these patents? I can say that Richard hasn't discussed this matter with me so far. So Richard is using these technologies without permission, said James Wilson. Richard stood up. This is sabotage. Rebecca is being jealous. Jealous? Amanda Foster laughed. Protecting her own patented technology is jealous? Michael Brown collected the files. I think we should end this meeting here. Wait, Richard shouted. Let's make a deal. We'll solve the problem. But it was too late. The TechCore team had left. After the TechCore meeting, everything developed very quickly. Amanda Foster called me that day. Rebecca, we want to talk directly with you. Let's make a licensing agreement for these technologies. Through Dataflow Technologies? No, directly with you. This was Richard's end. 2 days later, our other major client, Datamax, called. They also wanted to make an agreement directly with me. Within a week, 5 of our major clients withdrew from Dataflow Technologies and started working directly with me. Richard was in a frenzy. He kept calling, saying, "This is unfair." Richard, this isn't unfair. This is patent law. You're going to destroy us. I didn't do anything. I just protected my own rights. I ended my partnership at Dataflow Technologies. Richard had to manage the company alone. But without clients, without technology, I started my own company, Thompson Technologies. In my first month, I signed agreements with 5 major clients. All of them were former Dataflow clients. Richard's company failed after 6 months. It couldn't survive without technology. He called me. Rebecca, this won't end like this. Richard, this is already over. You destroyed my life. No, Richard, you destroyed your own life. Because you chose to underestimate me. Today, Thompson Technologies is one of the rising stars of the tech sector. We have 25 employees, offices in 3 different cities. Forbes put me on the Watchlist 2024 Rising Tech Entrepreneurs list. I'm taught as a case study at Harvard Business School. Richard? He's still job hunting, but everyone in the tech sector knows his story now. Last month, we met at a conference. He came up and tried to talk to me. Rebecca, can we leave the past behind? Richard, the past is already behind. You're in this situation because you left it there. I made mistakes back then. I underestimated you. Your biggest mistake wasn't underestimating me, Richard. Your biggest mistake was never trying to understand my value. I know there are women among those listening to this story who have experienced similar situations. Those who have encountered people in business life who belittled your value, questioned your abilities, said, "Women can't work under pressure." If this story taught you anything, let it be this: never let anyone underestimate you. Know your worth, protect your abilities. Maybe you're working with someone like Richard right now. Maybe you have hidden powers too. Your talents, accumulations, experiences. Protect them, document them, own them. You may not have patents, but you have expertise. You may not have documents, but you have experience. You may look powerless, but you know your real value. The most important lesson I want you to take from this story is this: people who underestimate you usually can't see your power. And when they see your power, it's too late. Richard thought I was someone who deals with details, but I wasn't just dealing with details. I was creating the entire system. Don't underestimate yourself either. Maybe you're much more powerful than you think. Maybe the people around you can't see your real value. If this story inspired you, if you have a similar experience, share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other, strengthen each other. And remember, the greatest revenge is being successful. Richard underestimated me, but I proved my own worth. You can do it too. You may not have your own patent documents, but you have your own value. Protect that value, develop it, and reveal it when necessary. Because sometimes the quietest people are the most powerful ones. And when the right moment comes, that power can change everything. If you liked this story, share it with other people. Maybe this is the motivation they need. Maybe they're fighting their own Richards too. I support all of you, and I believe you'll stand strong against people like Richard. Because you, me, all of us are worth much more than this.